Oh, and here we go. Do you remember on the, what is it, the fifth night of November? Oh man, that video delay sort of sucked. I didn't even know it was on video yet. All right, cool. So, yeah, what are we talking about? It's like, do you remember on the fifth night of November when we got the orange sheet to surrender? We were living the life away. Okay, so good news is I think we have Trump out, though I'm not going to tell you to like party your butt off yet. Hopefully as I keep like having friends and such come in, we can like get more like live broadcast. Oh yeah. Sorry, I had someone message me. So yeah, I think we could get more live broadcasts. I think we're a reasonable hour too. It's like 10:30 on the East Coast, and I think for some people that is a little too late, which I completely understand because it's a little too late for me, and I'm about well, yeah, I got paperwork to do, but that is like beyond the point. So yeah, we're talking about Trump out of office. Not for certain yet, but almost. I mean, seriously, we have 6 points to dump him out. We have like we actually are like, what is it, 0.2% in Georgia. Um, that's like getting smaller. That was getting smaller. It was like 1.4 or something yesterday. And now it's like 0.2%. And what else? North Carolina was about 3. It's now 1 point something. I think 1.3 or something. I mean, you can verify like some of these numbers, but they're relatively in the ballpark of what I'm saying. And Pennsylvania is the only one like, but Pennsylvania never really flipped. It sort of went flip-ish, and even that may change because it's like very close. But Pennsylvania is sort of on it. I guess it is getting a little further as the numbers are counted. So, with that being said, I think like, but Nevada, I mean, come on, we flipped Nevada, we flipped Arizona. I mean, Nevada's almost in the bag at this point. It's only going to be a matter of moments before they call it. And if we can take, like, Nevada will put us in the 270 range. If we can take home a state like Georgia, even by a mere act of luck, that would be a decisive victory because as it stands, if we take home 270, Trump would have to go the cheap route in order to get anywhere. And that's like getting faithless electorates. Those are people that can like be threatened, and a lot of states do allow this. Like they allow manipulation of electorates that are already promised, and so he can like sort of get in there after the fact. But if we have a decisive victory, that's going to be a lot harder. And right now, I don't even think if he could get like faithless electorate, he could get maybe 5. I don't think that would be what he needs because right now he's lucky to get 256. If he gets 5 on top of that, it's 261. 261 versus 264. I don't see Trump tying Biden at this point, let alone beating him. And so I think that like Schiff has basically sailed. So it's going to be like an interesting comeback from there. What I really find compelling, we're keeping Congress, but Senate is extraordinarily close. Like 46 seats to 48. That means there is a 2-seat difference. Now, for those who don't know, the way the seats work, in order to control a majority and actually become the Senate Majority Whip, you need 51 seats. A lot of the seats that are remaining, which could push us into that 51 range, are pretty contentious. And one of them, surprisingly, is North Carolina itself. So if we're able to actually capture some of those seats, we could actually be looking at like 51, and that could give us a blue Senate, a blue Congress, and a blue executive branch, which will be quite interesting because the Supreme Court can do a lot of things interpretively, but if a law is written within the arms of the Constitution, and a lot of these judges that were appointed are literalists, which is what upset a lot of Republicans, because literalists won't like overturn something that isn't like objectionable constitutionally. They won't just go out and kill it. They have to have a compelling reason, and usually it's a constitutional reason that violates like people's rights. And yeah, it isn't gonna happen, which is why a lot of the lawsuits, the lot of like over the top, like melodrama lawsuits Trump would bring aren't gonna pass because they didn't pass with like Al Gore, and they didn't pass with people like oh God, who's the one who ran against Clinton and Bush? They didn't pass with him either. So I'm very like suspicious in a conservative bench that's like constitutional literist who are like an originalist and who subscribe to the notion of president over like just taking it and going, no, we want to overturn this. I don't see them doing that in this case. Um, it's going to actually, I would love to get some of you like in here one night. Like, I know it's not going to happen now, but maybe like in a few nights, we could like get something together earlier or, yeah, during a more convenient time. And, there's a live chat. We could really participate and get into things and get into a discussion. And I could also have like a panel. Like if you're watching it, and I think you can do comments on a video, on a live video after the fact. So if you want to drop a comment like in one of these videos and like let me know it, because if we can like do some sort of panel or collaboration, I would love to do that. It would be like really awesome. I think that's going to be one of the goals of this channel coming here on in. Aside from that, yeah, it really is like an interesting turn of events because everyone saw that it was going to be Trump, Trump, Trump. And I was like, even a lot of Democrats predicted Trump, 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 and still are somewhat predicting it. But I was like, no, it's going to be Biden. It's going to be decisive. It's going to be like a decisive minority. It's not going to be an overwhelming vote, but it's going to be enough where it's going to be like, that's it. Biden has it. Trump is out. there's no more discussion. And sure enough, we're here at 264 versus 214, and it's only like 6 more votes to capture it, a few more votes above that to make it decisive. Trump doesn't have the momentum behind him to actually turn this around from here on in. He would have to capture all the remaining states, and he doesn't have that. And that's just going to be what it is. So yeah, and I think it's going to be good because we're going to have a responsible administration who will finally put like people first and finally put the mental health and physical health in this country first, because we've had a lot of problems like going through this where we haven't been like cared for as far as being citizens and as far as being like people in this country, human beings. We've had an administration who has lied to us, who has deceived us, who has not taken responsibilities for their like roles in office, and it's just been all over the place. So, and a lot of this, I know a lot of people are like, oh, but no, it's Trump. He allowed, and even to some degree, a large degree, instigate a lot of this. And so, with him gone, that's going to change a good amount. Uh, so yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting going forward. I still think we're going to have like we're going to have a lot of activism. We're going to have a lot of political involvement. That shouldn't die down. I mean, we already saw what they did to us, letting it die down in 2016. But that being said, if we can keep it up, we have a good momentum and we can end up getting a lot of positive things done. All right, so I mean, I guess in the interest of time and the fact it's late at night and the fact that I've already done like one 40-minute podcast, a like another YouTube live, and then this, I'm going to say good night, and we will get back to this sometime soon. Maybe like not tomorrow, but over the next few days. And leave comments and let's see where we can go from here. Maybe I'll like start planning out more of a video structure again. All right. Good night.